Renegades launches next week, and we just concluded a Bungie stream that had tons of information about it. A new story with enemies that look game-changing, a focus on an evil guardian which we've never really seen before. New characters, activities, 6 maps across 3 different planets, invasion modes, 6 new armor sets, customizable Praxic blade or lightsabers, and much more. So there was a lot of information in this live stream. It was just over an hour long. We had a launch trailer, a Vidoc, and of course developers walking us through the expansion, the new activities, rewards, ritual stuff, armor sets, and so on. As always, this video is going to be an explanation and summary of that, and in the coming days we'll dive into some secrets and stories you might have missed. Speaking of the story, let's start with that. A big chunk of the Vidoc and stream was talking about Star Wars inspiration, but this is a Destiny story. This is a continuation of the Fate saga. The Edge of Fate was the first DLC back in July, and Renegades next week is the continuation. Something that's interesting is that the events of this take place 2 months after the Edge of Fate happened. Normally Destiny has kinda went with real time, but development has changed, things like that. So the story takes place 2 months after the end of the Edge of Fate. Spoilers if you haven't played that, but we got a message from one of the 9 in the end of that expansion that told us we have to bind the 9 together or face universal extinction. We begin our story here in Renegades, where the Vanguard have redacted this prophecy of extinction and don't want the people of the city, the humans and Guardians, to panic. But Drifter has been seeing some strange visions and sees connections to this new Cabal-Barrent Imperium and the 9, which forces him to get a crew together. The Guardian, Aunor. Eris is even back too to help us out. Aunor is a member of the Praxic Order. She was always against the Drifter in the past. But now she's kind of learning she has to change in a world where both powers exist and where Guardians wield both. She's here to help us on this Renegade new mission. The enemies of this expansion, of course, are the Barrent Imperium Cabal, and they are headed by 2 major players. The first one is Premier Loom, being voiced by Danny Houston. This is the Cabal head of the Barrent Imperium. And then we have an evil guardian called Dredgen Bael. As you could assume, like a Sith, Dredgen Bael is all about darkness. Completely hates humanity and the city, and has a past with the Drifter. You see in the trailers he refers to him as Dredgen Hope. This was Drifter's name back when he ran with that crew. So it seems like those previous theories of them having connections are coming to light. That's the basis of the story. Like I said, we'll discuss more in the coming days.
You are supposed to protect the people, not rule them. The time of Guardians as shepherds of humanity is over.
No!
I've been waiting so long for this. Dredgen Hope.
Dredgen is a dark guardian that represents absolute darkness.
Dredgen Bael doesn't like the fact that we're ruled by a city of immortals who can't step down and that weren't elected. He's got kind of a point, but his methods for addressing that point suck. He makes many bad choices. One of my favorite parts about a lot of villains in Star Wars is that they have just like the capability of making a right choice and then consistently do not make good choices.
Bael is trying to fill a hole in his life in all the wrong ways.
And he just can't, and he never will. But man, we're gonna hope that he does someday.
The time of Guardians as shepherds of humanity is over.
The Lawless Frontier is the core game mode in Renegades. They said that some of it will be playable in the campaign, but also a part of the endgame and its own separate thing. Your Guardian is a renegade. You do jobs for syndicates to increase notoriety and get some sweet loot. There's bounty hunting, where you hunt down certain targets, sabotage, where you blow stuff up, and smuggling runs, where you can grab everything you can before getting the heck out of Dodge. The gameplay they first showed us here is a bounty hunt mission. Before you jump into the activity, you start in a ready room where you can see your ship, and a shank where you can select the different renegade abilities. You then drop into the destination to start your job. There's 6 maps in total, 2 on each destination of Venus, Mars, and Europa. These maps do look pretty big. When you jump in, you do sort of different encounters like locating the boss, maybe disabling security, using your renegade abilities, and maybe even encountering an invader. The way you use these renegade abilities is the following. You press R3 on controller and Z on keyboard, which switches you into a mode where you have these renegade abilities for your grenade and melee spots. There are 9 renegade abilities in total and 7 upgrades for each. There's also different vehicles and things you can call in too. Like they showed this one in gameplay, which heals you and gives ability energy. Or maybe you have a deflector shield that blocks incoming damage, also giving allies amplified. The Lawless Frontier has that non-regenerating health like the Nether previously, so abilities with healing are important if you want to build into that sort of thing, but Bungie did say it's much more forgiving than the Nether. There are airstrikes where your ship will rain down fire. There's a Cabal drop pod which does damage if it hits anything, but also contain ammo for you. This is really good for invaders. The activity gets harder the longer you are in it. So you may, say, defeat a boss, but you have to call in your ship and do a standoff to survive. You can see things look pretty hectic. And even once you board that ship and are waiting for your teammates, you have a turret you can shoot with. You may have heard me mention invasion, so let's talk about what the heck that is. If you're thinking Gambit, it's pretty much a Gambit 2.0, but with some differences. This is a look at the director screen for Renegades and this Lawless Frontier. You can select different hunts, and there's even the endgame modes at the top of the screen. What's known as the invasion and contested territories, where syndicates are fighting over maps and planets. So you can decide to pledge who you want to fight for and maybe get some of their rewards. Invasion is opt-in, so it's not a requirement. On this screen, you can also use currency in the menu on the left side to triple rewards with more of these tokens. And in the mode, invaders can drop extractables, which you can pick up and bank at the end of the activity to get more rewards for those PvE players. So essentially what's going on here is you have a PvE team running the Lawless Frontier, and if you queue in as an invader, you're against them. So you start in the ready room, pick your loadout, and drop in whenever you're ready. The PvE teams have no idea when you're going to drop in, so it kind of causes some tension. Do I focus on these enemies? Do I focus on the random guardian about to shove renegade abilities down my throat? Invaders, like I said, do have those abilities. They have a super, but no heavy. At least to start, you can call in like a drop pod and get some more ammo. When you enter, the PvE players are highlighted for a moment to allow you to plan things out. You may be super far away from them and have to travel a good distance. It looks like you have a total of 5 minutes to invade these opposing players and a certain amount of lives. I think they said 3. And the better you do as an invader, the better rewards you get. And on top of that, you have that wager with the tokens, so you might have triple rewards. So that's some information about Renegades overall. Let's talk about the rest of the game. There are a bunch of different armor sets coming to different activities. Vanguard Ops, Solo Fireteam, and Arena Ops has this new armor set. They also have a new arc rocket frame pulse rifle, kinda like Mint Retrograde, so you don't have to use the same weapon anymore. This is the Pinnacle Ops armor set with returning weapons and a new heavy crossbow, a void crossbow that can get box breathing. Crucible armor sets that are Suros themed. the Riptide fusion is back, and a new hand cannon and machine gun. And this is a look at the Trials of Osiris armor set. Glows are back too, so if you get wins, you can have different glows on the armor set. There's a lightweight Void pulse rifle too. Destiny 2 will have an open access week starting December 2nd, so anyone can play the game if they want. Tell your friends they can hop in, and they can even play the Edge of Fate, which will be included. Vanguard orders will be available in week 2, something they talked about previously. Then the Dawning returns, the winter or Christmas themed event in the Destiny universe, with this new wolf armor. New Dawning weapons include a fusion rifle, grenade launcher, and sidearm with hollow foil versions.
I remember knowing your first high action cue. Everyone was like, oh, whoa! Because it's really fast, really intense. Josh kept on like spinning around and looking at you.
Humans have to play this. Jeez.
Destiny has like so many themes, and that's like a great vehicle for doing the Star Wars spin.
But anyway, Guardians, there you have a summary of what happened in the Renegades reveal or launch stream, I guess. All of this stuff comes out next Tuesday, so let me know how you're feeling about it in the comments down below. And if you'd like to see some more Destiny news, lore, and mysteries just like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.